Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about Pluto transiting the fifth house in a natal chart. Now, on average, Pluto will traverse a house for approximately 21 years. However, if your house size is a little bit larger than average, then Pluto will be in there for a little bit of a longer duration. If your house size is a little bit smaller than average, then Pluto will be in there for a little bit of a shorter period. Well, anyway, people, first thing I'll look at when Pluto transits one's natal fifth house, this could be a time perhaps of some upheaval, some maybe transformation, even connected with romance or love, children, perhaps. It could be a time when we look at this, Pluto is very strong about transformation. And if your relationship with your children, say, um, is not good, then perhaps it could be a time where that rapport and that relationship may improve dramatically. However, if your relationship is good, it could be a time where it may actually, it might go a little bit south. Now, the thing about this too is a lot of people don't like to hear the dreaded D word, death, and really, when Pluto transits one's natal fifth house, if you have children, in most cases, it doesn't mean your children are going to die. Pluto is connected with death, and the fifth house does govern children. I had a friend, if I'm not mistaken, when he had his Pluto was transiting, it was either in his fifth house or was making a tight conjunction to his fifth house cusp from his fourth house. He did have a child that died during this time, and the child was very young. I mean, I don't remember the exact age, may have been like 4 years old or somewhere around there. And really, so things, it can happen. It can, the propensity for death of a child can increase marginally, I believe, but in most cases, I don't think that would be the case. It could be the figurative death of a child. It could be maybe the obliteration, maybe of a relationship with one or more children in some cases. Now, the fifth house is also about speculation and gambling, and this is a time where Pluto can be somewhat compulsive. So it's very important to keep in mind to if you're somebody that, especially if you're somebody that gambles anyway, this is a time where it may increase tremendously, and you might be maybe somewhat of a compulsive gambler even during this time. And even if you don't gamble, the propensity does increase when you have this transit, Pluto hitting the fifth house. And the thing is, and really, there's nothing really small about a Pluto transit. What I'm saying is it's extremist, and it can really go. It can be a point where you could suffer some losses as far as gambling goes during this time. So you really need to be prudent and careful as far as this goes during this transit. Now, the fifth house also is associated with love and romance, and this could be a time where, okay, where a romance may really transform your life during this time. This could be a period where a romance or love connection could be very intense. Now, if you are currently dating somebody, it could be a time, maybe the relationship ends, or it could be also about a rebirth of your love life. If you're somebody that, when this transit starts in your fifth house, somebody that is unattached and you don't have that romantic partner, this could be a time where you find someone during this time, and this is where your love life does go through perhaps a positive transformation. Now, also, the fifth house governs our hobbies and things of amusement, things we like to enjoy. And this could be a time where maybe if you play any games like board games, you could be interested in something like a CSI board game, crime scene investigation game, something connected with crime, or a board game connected with murders, and something with mystery perhaps. And this could be things that you may find yourself more interested in these type of games, in interest during this time, things that are of enjoyment in terms of like board games or video games, or playing like a forensic files trivia game if they have that, for example. That could be something that might really make you might find more interesting during this time. And maybe watching, maybe for example, murder mystery on television, or going to a movie that might be connected with some horror, or something that's connected with it, like I stated before, something mysterious like a murder mystery, something that focuses on crime. Perhaps you might be more interested in maybe the enjoyment of television shows like Forensic Files that focus on those kind of things. So those are some things to look at as far as this transit may go. And also a hobby you may pick up may be connected with astrology, the supernatural, and the occult, perhaps something, or maybe something where you might find some interest in some kind of investigation during this transit. And this is something where you have to remember too that Pluto is far from superficial, and anything that really in the fifth house could be very deep during this time, connected with the fifth house, such as romance, such as matters connected with your children. If you have any children, it's also important to make sure you're not overly controlling or domineering. They might even become this way, or maybe somewhat manipulative during this time. So it's be careful as far as that goes. And anyway, it's also important to look at the aspects, if any, that are made to your natal planets and points from this in your natal chart from this transit. Or what I should say is it's important to look at any aspects that are made to your natal planets and points in your natal chart from this transit, as this could impact the transit. Now, let's say, for example, that transiting Pluto is making a square to your natal Neptune. Well, this might be a period where you may perhaps a fixation or obsession with something may conflict with your dreams, and being in the fifth, that fixation or obsession might be connected with a romantic love, or perhaps even something connected with gambling and speculation. Now let's take another example. Let's say that transiting Pluto is making a sextile or trine to your natal Pluto. Well, this could indicate perhaps strong focus and concentration of power that may allow you to make a positive change or transformation in your life. And being in the fifth house, this might be connected with some kind of perhaps maybe something with your creative endeavors that might turn into something stronger, like work, for example. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Pluto transiting the fifth house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about Pluto transiting the sixth house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.